And we're back on day 3 of the annual Frontier Securities Investment Conference here in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. And I'm very honored to be joined by Randolph Koppa, who has had a very well-established 43-year international banking career, and is now the president for the Trade and Development Bank of Mongolia. Mr. Koppa, thank you for joining us. Okay. Maybe you can introduce a little bit how the Trade and Development Bank of Mongolia came to be and what you're doing now. What are your main activities?
The Trade and Development Bank was started immediately upon the creation of the market economy, when the one bank system in Mongolia was divided into a two-tier system. And we've just celebrated our 20th anniversary last October. So we're the oldest and the only bank that sort of made it all the way through unscathed that initial period of hard change to the market economy. We are focused on the corporate market because that was our legacy, the international market. That was the function that this was serving in the one bank under the state bank regime. And we've grown to become the leading bank in the country, serving corporates, serving international activity, and now serving those companies coming in as investors or operators into this expanding and dynamic economy. And
you also have a subsidiary, right?
We've set up, the banking laws were amended last year, which enabled local banks to establish wholly owned subsidiaries to engage in other activities which would be along the broad umbrella of investment banking activities. For example, our TDB Capital subsidiary, which was established in December, received a license just a month ago to do brokerage and underwriting. So we are working now on setting up our brokerage activities and the like. We're also working with some of the large investment banks that are active in the IPO on Erdenes TT as a local, one of the local advisory banks.
Okay. And you're very active because you're also the chairman of the Mongolian Mortgage Corporation, is that correct?
Yes. This was a company, we only started doing mortgage lending in the country after I arrived. We started doing it in TDB, and then the other banks sort of followed the model. And immediately upon doing so, I realized that with all the housing that needed to be built in the future, we're going to have a secondary market. So we set up a company among the banks with the assistance of some USAID technical advisors and with the participation of the central bank. And we started this company. Of course, it got going about the year of the subprime crisis, and we had some economic downturns and tight money here. So the mortgage activity started slowly, but now it's picking up dramatically. We are recapitalizing it, and we are in the process of working with some substantial international organizations to get some credit enhancements so we can issue covered bonds, which is the custom done more in Europe than in the United States, which was a securitization concept, so that we can issue some covered bonds, which we think would be attractive to international investors who are now taking a very positive view on the Tugruk and on the higher yields that you can get in a country where it's perceived that there's going to be a gradual appreciation of the currency, in addition to that strong return. So this is where we are. The housing demands in this country are huge. As you go around Ulaanbaatar, you'll see 2/3 of the population still live in substandard housing, these tents or some other kind of structures that are not properly done. So there's a lot that needs to be built. There's a lot being built. And the banks are trying our best to provide mortgage financing. Interest rates are coming down. But we can't hold all these loans on our books because we'll need to raise $5 billion in mortgages in the next 5 years, and the total banking system of loans now is less than $4 billion, so you get the picture.
Yeah, we had a lot of interest from investors and participants in this conference in real estate, actually, and I think it's very interesting to hear from you what, because you come from different perspectives. What is the outlook for the mortgage market or for credit in general? Will it become more widely available? Is the unpredictability of inflation maybe a problem?
Inflation is an issue, and I think Boldbader of the central bank, who's also a representative on the board of the Mortgage Corporation, so I know him well. He made an excellent presentation on what they're doing and his views on the inflation issue. It will be an issue because a lot of money is coming in, and there's still been a lot of transfer payments and causing some budget deficits. If they can hold off a little bit on some of this cash distribution and those kind of things, which were necessary for political and sort of a populist reaction to what's going on. You sign these contracts, where's the money for us? So they've had to show that. And if they can moderate that, if they can, as the dividends come in and the tax royalties from increased exports, and then their participation in some of the mining ventures, such as TT, come in, the fiscal revenues will be strong enough that they won't run deficits and will be able to manage the inflation. Okay. So we have a couple of years where it's going to be maybe a little dicey. We'll have a lot of investment flows in that will of course, create a lot of spending. And we have to, and that's why, of course, in the mortgage market, we want to get more people to buy apartments, which is actually saving money rather than just spending it on other goods.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Koppa, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much.